Studios in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know to make sound. A meltdown, it's the meltdown, time for the meltdown, coming for the meltdown. Let's start the show.
Welcome in, all of you beautiful Meltdonians, to this lovely land of pop culture conversation around the campfire that we have every single weekday, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. We appreciate you being here, making sure you hit that like button and making sure you subscribe so you never miss a piece of Meltdown content. I am Tim Melton, as we are presented by MyBookie, broadcasting live from the Culver studio. And sitting across the way from me is the other half of the Meltdown, my co-host, who's looking for himself constantly and is eventually going to find a mirror in this tiny little room, Mr. John Lunsford. John, how are you doing here on this Tuesday?
I'm here. I'm present.
That's good. Good conversation starter. Yeah. Good conversation starter. Is this because I eliminated you in poker for another week here?
Don't really care.
Okay. So I guess that's not the line we need to go down. We had cake last night. That was fun.
Yeah. Good.
Is there anything else that I can hit here? I've got something for you. Okay. I have genuinely been wanting to get your opinion on this because I'm thinking of taking the family on a Disney vacation.
Okay.
Thinking about going and hitting up Central Florida around the Halloween season. And I've got two questions for you. Number one, will I fit on the Tron coaster?
Probably not.
I've been looking at videos of this.
Do you fit on Flight of Passage?
I've never done Flight of Passage. I skip Animal Kingdom. So I've never been to the Avatar land of Animal Kingdom. But I'm nervous because it appears to me like you have to get your knee completely down in this thing, and then there's this metal bar of doom that comes and clenches your calf muscle.
Yes.
And if it doesn't go all the way and lock in, then you aren't able to ride the ride. It's that simple. It's a pretty bold strategy by Disney to, in this world, be able to, I think it probably exclude a lot of people from being able to ride this ride.
So, like, a lot of times my thing is, look, I'm just a bigger guy. It's hard to fit in certain things and pull it down, but that is what gets me on this. It's like you sit down and it has a thing that comes down, but the thing comes down, you like push the handlebars up and it locks a bar up on your knees and brings the back plate down, and the bar hits my calves like too soon, the way my legs are and everything. So I assume if it does it for me, it will definitely do it for you.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. However, I've seen that there are carts at the end of these cycle racer things. I don't know. I'm not a big Tron guy. You are a big Tron guy. Does the ride live up to the hype for you? Because it had seemed like it was in development forever. And I know it's not brand new, but this would be my first time going to the park where it's actually open, where I could potentially ride it. Is it something that you really like? It seems super short.
I have not ridden it.
Oh.
Because I can't fit in the thing.
But what about the cart at the end?
It's too long a wait to deal with all that, so I don't want to deal with that.
Okay.
However, the stuff they have is cool. They invested in some cool stuff. They have like a disc. You can, the disc they throw. They have a lot of like little action figures and all kind of cool stuff you can get. But everything I've heard is way too short. And it's cool, but it's like, woo, it's cool, and it's done.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Okay.
And everything I've heard is when you ride in the cart in the back, that it's not much, because you're just kind of sitting in a little cart going.
That sounds
the
good
whole
to me.
thing is like you're supposed to be like on a motorcycle.
Sounds good to me.
Doing that.
I think without the metal bar on the calf, I could probably make it work. But it's the metal bar that has no wiggle room.
Yes.
So why are you such a massive Tron fan, and how excited are you for the future of the franchise?
I mean, the whole idea of going into this would be cool. If I could go in there and see all the circuits or like freeways, like Jeff Bridges says in it. It's fascinating to think about what it would be like if you could get into a computer and see
it's the
what
Fast and Furious.
See what
hardware.
the information superhighway actually looks like. Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. There's only been 2 of those though. But obviously, Tron Legacy had Daft Punk doing the music for it, which is my favorite group, and rest in peace. So that helped. I think 9 Inch Nails helping. The next one will be a good successor to Daft Punk, since obviously they can't do it anymore. I'm making it sound like they're dead. They're not dead. They just broke up. But I don't know. It just works, and it's all about video games because Jeff Bridges runs an arcade, and the second one he has to go to the arcade to try to find his dad, and it's just video games in a movie.
Let's go to the chat here. I talk a lot about video games because that is what we're going to be doing in our draft today. We're going to be drafting what we consider to be the best video game franchises of all time, as we are set to go through potentially many rounds together, trying to have that perfect list to win over the general public here with our Meltdown draft. And there are some questions about the rules of this. Yes, one franchise covers everything under its umbrella. There's a lot of different umbrellas in gaming, and there are technically umbrella corporations as well in gaming.
Correct.
And you're taking everything under that umbrella because there's so many to choose from that we're not going to run out of potential IP that you can grab up. So be prepared for that. It'll be all encompassing. You know, you can't take something like, if let's say EG was in here, she can't say Sony and that be a thing that we accept. That's
PlayStation.
Not right. PlayStation,
Consoles.
Everything PlayStation. No, that doesn't count. And then, you know, it leads to a big fight. I think we're unfortunately going to have to ban EG from the Meltdown draft because she just tried to break the rules every single time she's a part of it. So I don't know. It's a trend there. So Smuff, there we go. We have Nick saying, I love the drafts, but are we going to go back to tabletop games at some point? Possibly, but tabletop games are extremely tough to capture, and they're extremely tough to work through live on the air. I think if we are going to go back to a tabletop segment at some point, we may need to do those away from the live show and produce them with a little bit more vigor, so that way you can enjoy watching them while we capture the action. Because right now it's tough to capture the action. Also understand the rules of a new game, especially if we're just unboxing it for the first time, and also capturing our emotion playing the game. So we've decided to go with the draft for now on Tuesdays. Let's see here. We have Charles that says the Avatar ride is pretty damn cool. From what I've seen, it looks really neat, but it also feels like once you've done it once, there's not a lot of replay factor, that people aren't really clamoring to go back, and that much like Galaxy's Edge, Avatar needs a new ride, a new something to draw people in.
Seems kind of like Soarin'. I haven't done it either because I can't fit in the thing, but it kind of seems like Soarin' when I see a picture of it, except you're on, like, instead of Soarin', you're just sitting in a chair, like, you know, on a row of chairs, whatever. You're just sitting in a row of, like, we're on a bird now.
I really like Soarin', and so
I don't like heights, so it doesn't do much when you can look down and say, like, oh, I actually am way high up in the ground right now, from the ground.
We have Nick that says Tron overhyped, way too short, never watched the movies, though. I also have not seen the movie, so there's not that emotional connection, but it does look really cool, especially at night with how it's lit up all blue, and I think I could ride the cart and be perfectly okay, but I'm glad that there are the carts at least, because that bike doesn't look like it's going to work for me.
Yep.
Smuff says, rest in peace, EG Drafts. Yes. We have Landmine Believer that says GTA 5 is the easy round one pick, maybe San Andreas. So you would actually be able to include all of those games.
GTA.
You just pick GTA, you'd be able to get all those games. So Landmine Believer says that is the easy number one. We will see once we get to the Meltdown draft. We don't even know the order yet. We will get to that. We also want to welcome in producer Tyler Lionel Johns to the conversation. Tyler, how are you holding up here on this Tuesday? You did not go to the Screen Unseen last night.
I did not.
What was it? Anybody know?
It was Slingshot. So I was
Could've seen
debating
the
on
movie.
going. I was finishing up some edits, and that pushed into, like, I don't know, 6:30ish, and it's like could have made it easily, but I looked at the options and I was like, this is either going to be Slingshot or that movie executive produced by Snoop Dogg with Tyrese and Ray Liotta. So I think I'll actually pass tonight.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you were able to stay away from the theater for a hot moment there. We are going to get into exactly what we've loved going to see at the theater more than anything so far this year. On Friday, we are going to have our Meltdown movie midterms that will be broadcast here on the show. We have been with you now for 6 months as a show, And we plan to tell you exactly what worked for us, the best performances, the worst performances, the best movies, the worst movies, things that you maybe missed the first time around that you can catch streaming now. We're going to go through the entire year with where we stand on everything, and also tell you what we're looking forward to seeing for the remainder of the year.
Bless you, John.
For John, he really enjoyed Twisters, which is what we all just experienced here in the studio with that violent sneeze that took place. He blew down a house to his right. We're looking forward to having that conversation. Hope you'll join us on Friday for our first ever Meltdown movie midterms as we are set to give out some grades. I'm sure it is going to be a great conversation. Once again, coming up today, we've got a Luntz's list. We've got a Meltdown draft. It's all going to be very fun. I have another Central Florida question for you, though, John.
Okay.
So my daughter is getting to the point where she kind of wants to do a haunted house.
All right.
Like she's 7, but she's also a giant, and she's around me enough to where she knows enough of horror movie properties. She sees my shirts. She has questions. She knows who Freddy is. She knows who Jason is. She knows who Michael Myers is. She kind of, she's been inquisitive.
It's a guy from SNL.
Correct. She's been inquisitive, but, she's obviously never seen any of the movies or anything. And she's saying, like, I kind of want to go to a haunted house, kind of want to do a scary house. And I kind of tested this. I showed her the elongated version of the music video Thriller it's like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be a good warm up to sort of see where she's at, because a lot of it is just choreographed dance. She does dance, and she likes music, obviously. And so I thought that would be a good father moment to be like, here, watch this.
But
it terrified her. I mean, she was absolutely terrified.
Don't think she's ready then.
She was not ready. And I was 7 minutes in going, well, maybe she'll start to enjoy this more compared to being absolutely petrified. And she was horrified by that music video. It's an iconic music video. And she went to my mom, her grandmother, and said, Daddy made me watch what he called the best music video of all time. Oh my gosh. And it's like, it's not the best. It's the worst. And I was like, well, I just ruined my father points there. So I guess what I'm saying is she's not quite ready for Halloween Horror Nights, if I had to guess.
No.
Maybe you should have showed her Purple Rain instead of Thriller.
Think so?
Look, I love Thriller as much as the next person, despite my dislike of Halloween. It's a very good song. It's a well-made video.
Yeah.
Especially for back in the day. But I'm not ready for Halloween Horror Nights. And I have gone through it now for 5 years, 6 years. Every day my wife is showing me something new from Horror Nights coming up this year, and we are going here in a little under 2 months. So don't know that she's quite ready.
I don't think she's ready. She says she's ready, but I tested her with Thriller, and she was not. Look, a lot of people are probably like, Tim, what an awful thing to do. She's interested in all this stuff. Okay, she does have my DNA, and she has this imagination, and she kind of is interested. We were watching Are You Afraid of the Dark at that age, John. We were watching. We were reading Goosebumps. Goosebumps was a big thing. Scary stories to tell in the dark at the book fair. All these things. I mean, they are things that sort of shaped me, and I just don't think she's quite ready.
Maybe you need to go back with the old Goosebumps series then.
You think so?
Yeah, play a little Say Cheese and Die for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Monster Blood.
Which reminds me of Blood and Cheese from
House of the Dragon.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm an awful parent. That's pretty much the moral of that story. Let's move on. John, I am ready now to talk a little bit more travel with you. John has been around the world, for those that don't know. But the question is, which stays have really stood out? We are talking travel and the hotels that haven't left John's memory with another edition of Luntz's List.
What is this? What is this? Luntz's List, Luntz's List, oh. What is this? What is this? Luntz's List, Luntz's List, oh. Luntz's List to five. Luntz's List to five. Luntz's List to five. Luntz's List to five.
All right, John, I need you to name the 5 hotels or resorts that you'd say have been your absolute favorite to stay at in your lifetime. And I have asked for you to please include any photos you can, if possible, to take us along this trip with you.
All right. So I'm not a big resort person. Now, I guess like when you go to like Walt Disney World, it's Walt Disney World Resort. But I love a good hotel. I can respect a good hotel. I have traveled a lot. I don't know that this was this just America or is this worldwide?
Go worldwide.
Okay, because I have a worldwide option on here.
Worldwide.
And some of these may not sound like, oh, that's just like a hotel, but like it's the experiences around them, obviously.
I'm a soccer coach now. International flavor's good.
Oh God. Anyway, it very much goes with the trips around them. So some of them are like it's a go-to because of the location. Sometimes it's a go-to because I had a really good experience here. So yeah, with all that, I will go with number 5.
Okay, ready to rock. Charles says, I was 6 when Thriller came out and my sisters got the videotape. Scared the blank out of me, but I turned out okay. Landmine Believer, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Scared the blank out of me. Oh, man, that was peak kids' TV for me. Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was the first horror thing that I really ingested that I loved. Gremlins, actually, on Disney. Like, they played Gremlins on Disney. We've had this discussion before. You can actually see the promos. They exist out there. And that terrified me as a kid. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Okay.
That terrified
Gremlins
me.
1 or
I loved it.
Gremlins 2?
I loved it. It was Gremlins 1.
Oh, okay.
Gremlins 2
1.
is just stupid.
The Bad Batch.
I agree with that, but
It's like funny stupid.
By the way,
it's stupid.
Movies and franchises that need a new entry or needed to be remade, Gremlins is
I don't know.
prime for today's age. All right.
It's going to be too CGI and too stupid.
yeah, you got to go
gonna be
practical, and you got to
practical.
bring back Gizmo
But
for sure.
You can't. I feel like the average person nowadays, you can't make that work. It may be nostalgic for us, but it wouldn't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm right about this. The question is, who has the rights to Gremlins right now? I don't even know who has the
I
rights.
have no idea.
Do you know, Tyler?
Does New Line still have it?
I don't know.
I
don't
think
know
it's
the
New
answer.
Line Cinema.
And is New Line still their own operating?
That's an even better question,
Like,
Tim.
has New Line been absorbed by anybody? I don't feel like New Line exists anymore.
I mean, it was the first one was Warner Brothers and Amblin.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so
I don't
Warner
know
Brothers has
Spielberg.
Gremlins. Warner Brothers, get to a Gremlins reboot quick. All right. If it's anything like The Crow, I mean. Okay, at number 5, Crown Plaza, Times Square. Let's talk about it, John. What made it so special?
So this is the Crown Plaza. This is probably going to pick a better picture that some of the lights work on it. This is my go-to place to stay in New York.
Yeah.
Looks
Looks nice.
You have heard me talk ever. I talk very highly of New York. I love New York. I would live in New York in a heartbeat. I'm going to New York in 3 weeks. It's whenever Alabama plays Wisconsin. That's 3 weeks, right? Yeah. Going there because I've always wanted to watch an Alabama game at the Ainsworth, which is the New York City Alumni Association or chapter of the Alumni Association where they watch games. They did this really cool piece on game day back in the day, like where every major school watches within New York City. Like every bar has like a school that they pull for. But anyway, Crown Plaza, I've stayed there a bunch. Stayed there a bunch with my parents. Last time I went to New York with my wife, we stayed there as well. Air conditioner didn't work that time, so this once again is not playing for a very good story. But it's great location. Where it is right in the middle of Times Square. So you walk out the door and you're basically right where you want to be in the hustle and bustle of everything when you're a tourist in New York. But the best part of it is the people watching they have from this bar here. It's a floor up from Times Square, and you can kind of look out the window and see all the people in Times Square, see all the tourists, and just sit there, have a drink before you go to a play or something like that.
It does look super nice. Location, my friend.
This is definitely a location pick more so than anything else. So if you want to be among the hustle and bustle, stay here. If you don't, go far away and stay somewhere else. But I enjoy being a part of it. Plus, very good location to the vast majority of Broadway shows, so you can just walk to whatever show you're going to because you can't go to New York, or at least I can't go to New York without seeing a Broadway show. This time we're going to see The Notebook because that was her choice, obviously. And so we're going to Yankees Red Sox the day after that, which is my choice. But you can just walk to pretty much any main Broadway theater from the Crown Plaza. So it's just a really good location if you're going to visit New York.
Super nice. I've never been to New York, but I really don't think I'd enjoy it. I don't think it has a lot of what I'd enjoy about a city. It seems very cramped. It seems like,
It is.
I mean, just masses of humanity that are all crammed. For you that likes to get away from people, I can't believe you love New York as much as you do.
I generally don't like people and just overall.
Yeah, you've made that clear.
But there's something about going to New York and being a part of the hustle and bustle that I like. Maybe it's just because it's so different from here.
You're a part of it, but you're still invisible because nobody cares about you?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. The way humanity should be, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to number 4. Whew. We are the salt and pepper of pop culture talk. John Lunsford and Tim Melton.
Not to be confused with the salt and pepper of entertainment.
That is correct. What's your favorite salt and pepper song?
I'll go with Shoop, I guess. That's the only one I can really tolerate. I'm not a big salt and pepper fan.
That's just because you're a Deadpool fan, isn't it?
Push it.
Yeah, I don't like Push It. That song is awful.
Push it real good. Okay, we're going to get a strike. Let's go with number 4 here. Wow.
All right. Number 4. Now, this sounds...
Is that supposed to be a U on the end of that?
It is. I just kind of wrote it really fast. That is Chengdu. It looks like Chengdu.
Like you misspelled DMV.
Chengdu, China. I went to Chengdu for the 2009 World Cyber Games Grand Finals, and we stayed at a Holiday Inn. And it's like, you put a Holiday Inn on greatest hotels of all time. Well, you know, what is considered a luxury here? Foreign cars, right? And if you go over to Germany, you probably see a lot more Mercedes and BMWs and all than you see over here. Not that you don't see a lot here, but it's not necessarily considered quite as luxury.
Yeah.
Maybe a Ford in China is considered more of a luxury. Holiday Inn, which is also attached to an Intercontinental, which is a little nicer version, but for the free hotel they gave us, we stayed at the Holiday Inn, was actually a very, very nice hotel. And this is the lobby of it, not typically what you would expect from the Holiday Inn. When it comes to the lobby, you walk in the front door and there's one dude who doesn't want to be there that's working at the front desk, and you check in and you go to your room. I will save that picture. Let's see, the picture kind of got out of order here a little bit. So this is the outside of it. Not quite what you expect from a Holiday Inn. Typically, you expect the one by the side of the interstate or something like that. This was a very fancy version. Now, this is the picture from their website. That's more of a press picture.
It's fancy, for
But
sure.
This was my picture of it through the smog from the Chengdu Convention Center, which is next to it, that we competed in. That is just, it's hard to actually see the hotel through how bad it is there.
Yo, the sky is gray over there.
Yeah. One of the things that made it so great, though.
Looks like the movie The Mist from 2007.
Yeah.
It does.
One of the things that made it so great was they had one of the best buffets. The room was nice. The location was nice. It was around a lot of some tourist stuff. If you wanted to do that, it was next to the convention center, which is a really big, nice convention center that they've actually, I think, built a new one since I was there in 2009. But they had the best buffet I've ever had in my life. They had duck à l'orange that was incredible. It's the first time I've ever had that, and it was the best duck I've ever had. I've had duck over here a million times, and it hasn't matched the Holiday Inn duck. And that sounds really stupid, doesn't it? That I've gone to fancy places in America, and the Holiday Inn duck from China was incredible. This is a random picture I had of me eating with one of my teammates there in the buffet, and it had the single best glass of apple juice I've ever had in my life. And it's like, it may not even been apple juice, and that may not even be real apples on the rim there, but it's the best apple juice I've ever had. And
That doesn't look like apple juice.
You know, when you're craving duck, you got to have a good quart of apple juice with
it's
it.
got foam on it. It looks like a beer almost, doesn't it?
Help drown the smog.
It's apple juice. Trust me, it's apple juice. They had a really nice ballroom that we had our player dinner at. This is me marching in after we got through. The U.S. did not win overall. I think we were second overall, but I won a medal. There's me and my bronze medal marching in with the American flag because I was the flag bearer. And, I still represent America everywhere I go and carry that flag into the Holiday Inn.
You used to love this country. Now you hate Glenn Powell, and you've really changed. Because Glenn Powell is America.
I like how, I used to love this country. Now you hate Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell is the most
Glenn Powell.
American product we have today, and you can't stand Glenn
pass.
Powell.
You're not wrong, Tim.
Hard pass. I'm going back to China. Anyway, this is the Holiday Inn Chengdu. It's random to include that on the list. I know, but trust me, hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
It was big. It was nice. It was very good. Like I said, it was attached to an Intercontinental that I think they thought they were pulling one over on us because the Intercontinental typically is it's all part of Intercontinental Hotels Group. But I think they were pulling one over on us, and like the people who were in charge of Team USA stayed there, and all the players stayed at the Holiday Inn. But really and truly, they're almost identical. They were really pretty much the same. They shared the ballroom and all in the middle, and it was really nice. And like I said, it was good location, and it was just an overall good trip while I was actually in Chengdu. Once I left Chengdu, I had a whole host of issues, and it took me a week to get home. That's a whole story for another day that has nothing to do with the hotel that I stayed in.
Well, that took a turn for sure, and that was one of the first Luntz's List items that I couldn't properly pronounce up on the thing because I thought
I did do a weird you.
Ching Div was your answer. So we're going to move on to number 3. EG's list would have included a bunch of Russian properties.
The what?
The inn at...
Oh, I was reading that as one word. I was like, what is a... Where's thine?
Don't keep destroying my handwriting.
It's just the spacing and the actual letters.
Because I start and then I lose myself 2 letters in. Anyway.
We should do a writing segment every day.
Yeah. So Serenbe is a place that is about halfway between the state line of Georgia and Atlanta in Georgia. It's off. You go down 20 and you get off, go right, and you kind of, so that's basically going south. And you go south for about 30 minutes, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, honestly. We were going at nighttime. My wife had picked it as the first vacation we ever took together. And she picked it, and I'm like, where on earth are you taking me? I thought she was taking me to the backwoods somewhere. And, yeah, it's...
Misery.
Yeah, it kind of seemed that way. But we got there, and it was incredible. It is incredibly nice. Let me see if I can find a picture here. So this is the front of the inn. It is basically like a little... I kind of liken it to Seaside. Like imagine like the little town of Seaside and the houses you see there and stuff like that. But instead of at the beach, it's like in the woods instead. But it's a really nice little town. And then there's like a farm and there's an inn. And so that's kind of a picture of the front door. And then this is a picture of like a little barn area where you can have like weddings and stuff. And then in the back, you can see the inn. It's basically like a big mansion that there's different rooms in. But it's really nice. And of course, this is also a little bit of a personal pick because right here is a bridge. This is just a stock photo I found. A bridge over a lake they have kind of behind the inn, and that bridge is where I proposed to Laurel.
Oh,
so
look at this. I can't believe it only made number 3 on Luntz's list. I mean, my gosh, what a sweet story.
Yeah, there's all places I've been with Laurel as well. I have not been to Chengdu with Laurel, but, you know, one day maybe.
So you went down on the knee?
So I did not. So we actually were walking across this bridge right here, and we were just kind of kicking back, taking in the view like that, and I just asked her. I didn't take a knee. It's hard to get down on one knee.
Did you have the ring?
Yeah, well, I didn't have the ring. So we used my mom's ring, but my mom wasn't ready to give it up yet because she was switching. She was getting another ring. Like my dad bought her a ring because it was like a passed down family ring.
I'm going to stop asking questions.
So I used one of my grandmother's rings to propose with, and then we switched it out once my mom, because her ring had to be ordered, and once it actually came in, then we actually made the switch of the ring and everything. And I said, this is one of my grandmother's rings. This is a placeholder until my mom gets her new ring in, and then we switch rings, and now she has
Here's what I would have done. I would have said, this looks like a good place to fish, and I would have pulled out my pole, and at the end of it, it would have had the ring on the string, and I would have dangled it in front of her face and said, will you be my wife? And if that's not romantic, I don't know what is.
Yeah. And you pull it away and you say, ooh, you got to be quicker than that.
I got you $1.
It's like, well, you didn't get it, so I guess it's not happening.
All right.
Anyway, here's a picture of us after we went back and got the person at the front desk to take a picture of us right after I had proposed. And then just here's a random picture of me standing in front of a thing.
Very sentimental. So
it is a very sentimental place, but it is a really cool place. It's like I said, it's like a little town. They give you a golf cart when you get there. Wife probably hates this picture, but like that's her sitting in the golf cart before we drove off, and you just kind of tootle around town once you leave the inn and go to different little shops they have. We did like a wine right after I proposed. We did like a little wine tasting. I don't really care about wine, but it still was cool to do. It's just a fun little place to go. I'd love to go back. I haven't been back. She's been back with one of her friends, but I haven't been back. I would love to go back.
I should do a movie called In a Sentimental Nature, where you shoot a love story here at this movie, at this location.
Can that also be third-person perspective
Yes.
through the woods?
Yes.
It's third person. I'm just like chasing around with the hook, and then once I find her, it's like I drop it.
Exactly.
We hug. Yeah.
Exactly. No one's seen In a Violent Nature, so this joke doesn't work. But we move on to number 2 on Luntz's list after going down a trip down memory lane. And I really do think that is a place that John would have never gone to had he not been in a relationship, because that looks like John Lunsford Allergy City is what that looks like.
Yeah, it does. Number 2, does that say a Cosmopolitan? I don't know, but I don't even know where that is.
Before we move on here, Tyler, I want you to put on the most charm you can, and I want you to read Samuel's second to last chat here, because I think it works best in your voice for some reason. Pretend you're fake Morgan Freeman at the airport and you're telling this story.
My proposal story. I was getting ready for a deployment to Iraq. I looked in my wife's eyes and said, I can get like double the money if we get married. She said, okay.
Wow. That's touching.
It's a good plan.
It's
a good plan.
Smuff saying Samuel with the hashtag romance. Love it. All right. Moving on to number 2, the Cosmopolitan. This is a Las Vegas property.
This is a Las Vegas property. This is so my grandfather took me and my cousin to Vegas when we first turned 21. We stayed at the Bellagio, which this picture is taken kind of from the Bellagio over towards it, because obviously that's where the big fountain is. And they were building this when we were there. And then I remember seeing like some pictures of it and everything. And then I went to CES. I was working for Samsung, actually not long, about 2-3 months after I got back from Chengdu. And it had been completed at that point. And I stayed at the Planet Hollywood. I looked across and I was like, man, that's a really cool looking place. I really want to stay there. I went inside. The inside's really cool looking. They have like chandeliers everywhere. It's very purple and like crystal all over the place. It's really kind of trying to be really hip. Let's see if I can find another picture. So the first trip I actually planned, she bought the tickets and then made me plan the trip, was after we went to Serenbe. She had gotten tickets to see Lady Gaga there with her residency at the Park MGM, which also is a really cool hotel. And was like, hey, so she had bought tickets to the Auburn, Georgia SEC championship. This was 2017 when they played, the year they had 2 losses and everybody thought they would make the playoff if they beat Georgia. And she bought tickets, but StubHub had accidentally charged her twice or whatever, so they gave her a credit. And so she used that to buy tickets to go see Lady Gaga in Las Vegas during her residency. And I was like, well, I want to stay at the Cosmopolitan. So I booked us a room at the Cosmopolitan, which had an incredible view from the balcony. So this was us on, I guess, our first vacation post-engagement, because this was like 3 weeks after we went to Serenbe. And then this is a picture just from my room the night we got there. So it's a really cool view of Las Vegas. You can see the fountain. You can see Caesars. You can see Paris, Bally's, the Flamingo. You can basically see everything that direction. So from the Cosmopolitan north, I believe that is. North? Is it north? I think it's north going up the strip there. But anyway, it's really nice. It's a cool place. And yeah, I like the food there. They have really cool restaurants there. The casino, not my favorite casino because it's more expensive, but
they have a lot of themed slots there.
They do. My wife goes to like a Game of Thrones themed slot and stays all day, and then she'll go to a Sex and the City one, and she'll go to a friend's one, and there's just all kind of stuff.
I played a Casino Royale one there with Daniel Craig, and I was like, I love this game, but it's paying me nothing.
Yeah,
but I'm enjoying it, but it's paying me
in.
nothing.
That's how
the music is so good, but it's paying me nothing.
That's how Tim got caught.
Well, then, I get up after having lost my bankroll there at the Casino Royale machine, and then somebody sits down, they win the next time they sit, and you're like, even though it would have been a completely different outcome had I still sat there and fed the machine money, you can't help.
No, it wouldn't have, Tim.
Yeah, it would have.
No, it wouldn't have. Okay. You would have won. You were this close to a big payday.
No, that's not the way it works. Get out of my head, Vegas man. Anyway, That's what we all have to deal with when we're at the casino, those inner thoughts.
Yes.
And scene. Anything
Yeah.
else on the Cosmopolitan?
Cosmopolitan's a cool place to go.
Okay.
Anyway, I very much enjoy the Cosmopolitan. It is a go-to. I still want to go back to it, even though I'm not staying there. Like when we stayed at Planet Hollywood, still made sure to go right across the street to the Cosmopolitan. I will never stay at the Bally's ever again, or Horseshoe now that they're calling it. It was awful, so I will definitely stay around there's an area that's like the Cosmopolitan. You can include Bellagio in there, like Bellagio, Cosmopolitan, Aria, Park MGM. That's by far and away the best places to stay. I won't say it's like all the best casinos, all the best restaurants and all that, but there's like a clump right there that's really, really, really good.
I do think if you want to be center strip where you can get to basically both sides of the strip pretty easily, Planet Hollywood is a wonderful choice for location. If you're just talking center strip. But
it is, and it's across. So if you want to be more on the other side of the strip, so you don't have to cross the street, and you can go between that, Paris, over to Bally's. So like playing the World Series of Poker, that's why I stayed at Bally's. But it's actually where the losers like me play, it's actually at Paris. Where the main stage is over at the Horseshoe now. But Planet Hollywood would be a better location for that. Or, of course, Caesars across the street as well. But Cosmopolitan is just one of the newer ones, and so that's part of why it's so nice. That's also what makes Cosmopolitan, Aria, and Park MGM all really nice, is they're all three of the newer ones on the strip overall. But
Jeff in the chat wants to know if you've ever been to the Speakeasy in the Cosmo.
So I've been to Secret Pizza at the Cosmopolitan. I have not been to the Speakeasy there. Secret Pizza is strictly the kind of thing you just say, oh, I found it. And that's really the biggest part of it. Oh. It's not there's tons of pizza to eat in Vegas, and it's not the best pizza to eat, but
I don't know. A hidden pizza place sounds cool, though.
It's just
a secret pizza place?
So, like, imagine you're walking through and, like, right there, there just happens to be like a little walkway, and you never really notice it. It looks like you're going back to like a maintenance closet or something like that, but you walk back there and there's actually a pizza place back. But there's not like a sign that says it's a pizza place. It's just like a random hallway you walk down, and it's supposed to be like a secret. But everybody knows.
I don't
obviously.
feel like I would do well in a Speakeasy. I feel like I would be very uncomfortable because I'd get in there and I wouldn't understand what the point of it was.
So my only experience with like a secret kind of Speakeasy like that is Universal does things with the Orlando Informer, like events, like where they shut down the park at night and it's like a special ticket or whatever. And so my wife's been invited to a couple for free. And so it's like, yeah, I'll go, we'll do it, whatever. One of the times their theme was like old, like Prohibition kind of 20s, whenever that was. And you had to go through, and I still get texts from them all the time because once you sign up, you're like, I can't get off the list. But you had to go through and find a code to then give the code to then get into the Speakeasy. And, of course, you had to go all over the park to find the different clues, and my wife eats that stuff up. The worst is when we did a Halloween one, and we had to go trick-or-treating in like 15 different places, and then our prize at the end was a little bag with like 3 pieces of candy corn. I don't even like candy corn. But anyway, there was one of those with the Speakeasy, and so it's like, oh, we got to play the game. It's fun. And we played the game. We went to the Speakeasy, and they would not leave you alone. They had a bunch of actors they had hired, like – it's like Horror Nights. They get like a bunch of actors to like go out there and like scare you and stuff. They had hired a bunch of actors to go in there and be like, Roaring 20s, Great Gatsby style people to go in there and talk to you. And it's like, I just want to go in there and say, I found it, and then leave and maybe get a drink while you're in there because they had like 2 special drinks you could get. I hated it. And I've hated the word Speakeasy ever since because it was all like, find the Speakeasy if you can find it. And
I'm sure you didn't end up in a speak difficult. Are you sure that?
Yeah, it was difficult to get through.
Hey, one thing that's been very easy, John, is following the program that Leslie and her board-certified teams laid out for us there at Way to Wellness, where we get much more than 3 pieces of candy corn.
Yes, we do, because, you know what, we've learned to control ourselves all across the board so we can enjoy ourselves a little more. When we get to something like that, go to aplanforme.com. You can learn more about Way to Wellness. You see Tim weighing in, me weighing in, Leslie and our board-certified staff helping us out. Look at the smiles on our face and how happy we look. You can have a happy look on your face, too, and get a plan that works for you just like I have, just like Tim has, just like Jim Dunaway has, just like my dad has. Go to aplanforme.com. Learn more about Way to Wellness.
Absolutely. All right, we are getting now to that number 1 top spot on Luntz's list of the resorts/hotels that you've enjoyed staying at the most throughout your lifetime. You've stayed at a lot of them. Where are we going for number 1 as we just landed from Vegas? We have a few bucks in our pocket. We're looking to take another trip. Where are we going?
Something Palm. Parker Palm Springs. I don't know where that is.
It's in Palm Springs.
All right.
I was gonna say that exact same line, but anyway. Now we know.
So, the Parker
another
Palm,
sentimental pick.
Laurel and I have been here. There wasn't like a special moment that happened necessarily, but it's an incredibly nice hotel, and this is a hotel that I have since seen. I didn't really know what it was, but I have since seen many celebrities stay at when they go to Palm Springs.
Looks like a hell of a mini golf course.
It does. So that's just kind of a random picture of kind of the middle courtyard area. Then this was our room. So the room's pretty nice. One of the things I liked is they gave you the best toiletries of any place I've ever been before. It's like you don't have to bring anything. We'll have everything completely covered for you.
Do they have a bidet?
Did not have a bidet. This is
like they don't have everything covered then.
John's like, why do I do this?
I'm from Alabama, okay? I don't need a bidet.
Honestly, though, and this will be Andrew McLean's favorite segment, have we ever used a bidet? Has anybody here ever used a bidet?
I have used a bidet before.
You've used a bidet?
Yeah.
Have you used a bidet?
I've used a bidet.
I've never used a bidet.
My thing is,
It's a good feeling.
So it is.
Okay.
The thing, this is getting personal, but
it is. I mean, I'm really curious.
The bidets I've used have been in hotel rooms before, and I have used, so it's been like separate, toilet and bidet separate, and they have those ones you can attach to your toilet now. That's cheap. I don't want that. If I'm gonna get a bidet, I want like a legit bidet. But I don't have room to build that, and B, that's hard to install in your bathroom and extra plumbing and all that kind of stuff. So it's like if I want to do it, I'm gonna do it right.
See, I didn't even know there was another kind. This guy's like into bidets.
I want a birthday bidet that I can call my B-Day bidet. Let's continue on. Is
Anyway.
anybody still here? All right.
This
Number
is the
one,
entrance.
Parker Palm Springs.
This is the entrance to the Parker. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a cool place. The spa there is really cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's in Palm Springs. Palm Springs is a really cool place to go.
Yeah.
There's really cool like houses to look at and stuff like that. There's a place called the Saguaro that we didn't stay at, but we took a bunch of pictures at. It's my picture on Facebook. My profile picture on Facebook is from that place. It's right down the road from here. Palm Springs is a great place, and I would love to just retire from life and go to Palm Springs and just live out the rest of my days in some cool house down there. That costs millions of dollars that I don't have. But one day, that's the dream, is to just move to Palm Springs and never look back.
That oil money only gets you so far, huh? A night in Palm Springs compared to retirement.
Wealth in Alabama isn't quite like wealth everywhere else.
There we go. All right, there we have it with Luntz's list. You still get the luxury of travel there with some great choices, and the one you'll be staying at next out of these 5 is the Crown Plaza. You're planning on going back there the soonest?
So we actually haven't booked a hotel yet for New York. We have the flights and tickets to the Notebook and tickets to Yankees Red Sox, but hadn't gotten a hotel yet. So we'll see where we stay.
Okay. Well, maybe you just mix up a couple of these. You can go to the
Park,
Holiday Inn.
Park Central is probably an honorable mention for me in New York. I stayed there during the World Cyber Games 2009 National Championships like a month before I went to Chengdu, and it was a really nice hotel. I'm going to try to go back there. It's right next to Central Park.
I'm trying to remember the hotel in Home Alone 2. The Plaza Hotel.
The Plaza.
Still a real hotel? Still something you can go to?
Yeah.
Man.
Tim Curry
That's where I
still
would
work
wanna
there?
stay.
As far as I know. No.
Rob Schneider?
Trump just walking through the lobby.
Man. That's where I want to stay if I go to New York. That's what I saw on the screen, and that's what I want to replicate. And I want one of those tiny little mini fridges that you have to have a key to unlock the door. Want one of those too. Okay, limousine pizza sounds good to me. That's going to do it for Luntz's list, but that's not going to do it for John at the board, as it is now time for our Meltdown draft. Landmine believer, I just got a bidet last weekend for the first time. Game changer, I will never go back to toilet paper. Charles says, don't knock the $25 bidets from Amazon. They work.
I'm sure they do. I'm snobby about things.
Maybe I need to make an investment.
If you couldn't tell
next
from
week.
me staying at the Parker Palm Springs, I'm snobby about things.
So, Tyler, if you do add a bidet to your life, we do need a review of whether or not you would recommend the device that you purchase off of Amazon.
Do you want me to film an out of the bathroom review? What's up, you
What's up, you
guys?
guys? I'm Tyler.
What's up, you guys?
Shove water out in a place.
Let me tell you something. It wouldn't be the worst pile you've seen this year coming out of the bathroom, because you've seen some awful movies this year. We'll get into all of those on Friday. Best and worst of the year so far. You won't want to miss that with our Meltdown midterm movies discussion that we're going to be having on Friday, 2 o'clock Central. Okay,
Just imagining somebody walking by the window right now and I have a bunch of bidets up on my...
I know. I don't know what to say. Let's go ahead and clean that board. Wipe it clean. I don't...
Spray it down.
I really don't want to talk about this anymore. Unfortunately, this is where we're at.
How did we even get onto the subject?
I don't even know. I think I messed up. I think I went...
I'm not sure what happened,
about
but I'll blame you.
toiletries, and it just led me to wondering if it had a bidet. And now here we are. There's no good bidet to talk about this. Tyler, it doesn't matter how much you hate me because I hate myself way more. Okay, here we go. I'm going to pick the random order. This is the way this segment works is we've given the category. It's going to be video game franchises. What do you consider to be the strongest, the best video game franchises? And you can equate that however you want. Make the argument to the audience, and they're going to figure it out. We're going to go 6 rounds in this. 6 rounds. That's really not that many. 6 rounds, and I'm going to give the random order right now of who's going in what order. Tyler, if you could pick your spot, would you want to be first, second, or third? Not that you can, but
third.
I think third, there is a little bit of an advantage again that first double pick.
Yeah.
Okay. There's 3 of us. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. The order is going to be Tyler first, me second, John third. Tyler first, me second, John third. So John got the coveted third spot there. And we are getting ready to draft. So,
Taking the bidets off my screen. Hang on.
Tyler, do you know where you're going first overall with the video game franchise that you are going to check off the board?
I do. So, I mean, I feel like you just have to pick this one first. I'm going Mario. I mean, I just don't feel like there is any other choice I should go with first. I mean, how many other franchises have been going as long as Mario and are still going? I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Mario is a very strong choice for sure, but I am going to go with Grand Theft Auto for my number 1.
Yeah, I thought
overall pick.
Thought I could hold that one until next
And
round.
if anybody believes that this is not the correct number 1 overall pick, just wait until Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, and then all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh crap, this is the biggest game release of all time. People are going to lose their minds over that game, and Grand Theft Auto is the clear-cut top pick. John, what are you going with next? Nick
Also,
says,
Landmine Believer, I feel like I get all of them.
You get everything
I
Mario.
feel like I get all of them.
Get everything Mario.
He's like, do you get Mario Kart and Mario Party, like the sports games as well?
It's under the entire umbrella of Mario.
I'll take it. John's going with Zelda. Not shocked at all by that first pick.
I'll tell you what I think, John.
Oh, man. Y'all are killing me already.
What did you think we were going to take? Types of cheeses? I mean, we're going to go with some big hitters here, but I feel like John made a big time mistake here in going Zelda over Call of Duty with your choice. I feel like that does matter.
I don't think it does, but
I don't really think it does.
I think it does.
Whatever your list is whatever your list is. But Zelda's better than Call of Duty. Call of Duty just sells a ton of units every year with lots of different things because they put out Black Ops 6 and Modern Warfare 42 and Warzone, which I guess we're on Warzone 2 now. I don't play Call of Duty much
I don't
anymore.
know what Warzone we're on. I've dropped the franchise at this point.
Smuff, I think Zelda's better pick than GTA. 1,000% it is.
No, it is not.
It is.
I promise you it is not.
There's more Zelda games that I would rather go back to than GTA
Correct.
games.
Correct.
But
Your
I think
personal
GTA 5 is just such a strong entry.
GTA 6 will completely
Well, if
blow up the video game
I
world.
don't think we can put any stock in GTA 6.
GTA 6 doesn't exist yet.
We haven't even seen gameplay footage yet,
The
Tim.
next Zelda, trust me, as great as all the other ones have been, the next Zelda's going to be even better.
I'm not only taking something that already has a strong history, I'm taking something that has a really strong future in GTA. I have no problems with making that pick.
I mean, we thought Cyberpunk was going to be a great game when that came out too, but then it released a buggy mess. That could still easily happen with GTA 6.
All right.
Yep.
We got too much runway.
I am going to next go with Fortnite. Give me Fortnite.
As
That's not a wasted pick.
no, I'm agreeing with
It's not
John.
a wasted pick at all.
I've never agreed with John more on anything before.
Everyone,
Fortnite is
true.
a single entry. It's a
true.
wasted pick.
Fortnite has an entire ecosystem to it that has captivated so many future generations of video gamers that it's an important pick. It's the right pick. I'm going with Fortnite.
Now you have more options.
Wow. Okay. All right. So first of this double pick will be one of the top-selling entertainment franchises of all time. You put together every product that this franchise has created, and it is way up there. It is Pokemon. It is a global phenomenon. You might not be a fan of it.
I prefer the card game.
Well, you know, that also falls under the umbrella because there is a Pokemon trading card game video game, Tim. So it's one of the most successful franchises of all time. Still going, still beloved. Also was the #1 Googled thing in the world at one point. So that is what my number 2 pick will be. Number 3... I am going to go with Halo. I think that's the flagship Xbox franchise far and away. I do think my first 3 picks are really strong.
Good job. I'm glad that you guys are, patting each other on the back here. No, it's really great. I'm glad that you guys are patting each other on the back. However, we all know Halo's best days are behind it. And I feel like that does matter. I guess I care a lot about the future of gaming here when it seems like no one else is caring about that. And I feel like that is what is going to be discussed for generations to come. John, you can't say Taylor Swift is better than the Beatles and then not support the direction I'm going here with my draft. So I'm going to continue on with picking what I think is a stellar pick here. And I'm going to go with
Hey, there are multiple games in there, so that's actually a stronger pick than Fortnite.
Fortnite is changing the entire ecosystem, guys. You guys got to think big picture. You guys got to think.
That was not the first Battle Royale game. That was a game
I didn't say it was the first.
It copied PUBG. That's the only reason Fortnite's popular.
And it took that formula and it enhanced it to a point where it's more culturally relevant than PUBG. And there's no debate about that. Okay, now with my next pick, I'm going to go with the biggest sports game in the world. I'm going to go with FIFA. Give me FIFA next. This brings in the international audience in a way where there is not only a rebound here in my draft, but rebounding that you can do right off of the goalkeeper and score a goal, which is what I just did with my next pick. So thank you guys. John, what are you going with next?
Oof. Nick says no recovering here. Tim is in easy third place.
No, you guys we still got draft picks.
All right, I'm going with something that you want a franchise. There's not a lot of franchises that have more games than Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I thought about going
more
with
successful worldwide.
Yeah. If you like cutscenes, that's your game.
I'm just telling you what's been successful. And then it's my fourth pick.
I still haven't played the Final Fantasy VII remake. It's been sitting on my desk for a while.
I'm playing a little Final Fantasy 14 lately. The last MMO they did of Final Fantasy. Then I'm going to go.
See what we got. Mortal Kombat, yeah. Also made my short list. 2 very solid picks.
Man. What to do? You know, I've got a polarizing list for sure already. So let's go ahead and spice it up a little bit more. Let's continue to pay our respects to the younger generation of gamers that in their life need to be recognized. Let's go with Minecraft next. Let's bring that back in.
It's hard for me to discount this entry. It's just, I don't, franchise, it's only one game. Or are we?
They have multiple games.
Oh yeah, I guess technically Pocket Edition and original.
They do have Minecraft Dungeons, which is a separate game.
Oh.
I want to say there's another game in there somewhere, but there's a lot of different versions of Minecraft as well.
Well, it is I think it is the highest selling game of all time. So.
Single game, I believe you're correct.
Yep.
Thank you guys for making all my arguments for me. Let's go ahead and get back to Tyler here for a top pick.
Yep, for single game. All right, for my, what is this, 4th pick. All right, so Halo's already taken, Call of Duty's already taken. Oh, shoot, I can't believe y'all left this one up for me. The Elder Scrolls franchise. Another franchise with an incredibly strong entry that is being played 13 years later. I still go back and play Skyrim, start up a new story. I know plenty of people who also still do. The mod community for it is still running strong, and it will continue to do so until Bethesda ever announces a official release date for Elder Scrolls 6.
They have announced Elder Scrolls 6, which I would say, like GTA 6, is going to be a very good game. However, I will not count it towards anything because we don't really know much about it.
Oh, I'm not counting it either.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but
I think
thing.
Oblivion and Skyrim carry this for me.
I agree.
It's not me that you need to take down a peg. The chat's already turned their back on me because they don't like winners. It's really Tyler you need to take down, and John, you're doing a poor job of that. I need you to step your game up.
You just said the same thing as Tim, something you can't count Elder Scrolls.
You need to
6.
step your game up. You're trying to take me down, not
You're
Tyler.
just mad that you're last place right
No. I'm not mad. I feel very confident in my list. I feel like I am more generationally conscious of what's going on in the gaming community. I'm more tapped into the pulse like Jimmy D over on the next round. Katie Kirk told me these are good choices.
Exactly.
So how was Mother's Instinct? How's that?
Was that what it's called? You could be just making that last word up and you know it.
I could just be making the last word up, but what Mother's Anything was not on AMC. It's available for
I'm just wondering when you're going to make your next picks, Tyler, because I feel like I'm playing an Elder Scrolls game. I can't get through it. Just keep waiting. It takes so long.
All right. And my 5th pick, dropping an absolute batarang to Tim's list. Just watching it go all up in smoke. It's Batman Arkham.
Tyler, I'll be honest, this may be the first list where you've absolutely dominated the competition. This may be the one.
I agree.
Like,
my list is...
I want to welcome you to the Two-Timer Club. That's what I want to welcome you to. Because I
don't know if I want to be a part of that club.
I'm currently the only one in the Two-Timer Club. So I would, I'm just welcoming you with open arms. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go next with World of Warcraft. Give me Warcraft here.
It's a solid pick.
Thank you. I'm looking to get into that second spot. Forget first. You've already locked that up. If I can wiggle my way into second and break John's heart, that's what I'm going to do.
I'm not going to lie. That looks close. I still think John has it, but we'll see.
Thank you, Landmine Believer. The chat's starting to come back here. Thank you, Troy.
Finally,
Tim makes a decent
It only
pick.
took 5 rounds, and you had to steal my game to finally.
There
put
we
it
go,
in.
Josh. Tim just hit my nostalgia vein. It looks like you're, taking on water here. You going to go with Sea of Thieves? Oh man,
Yeah,
John's
I'm
struggling
up, what,
here.
4-1 so far, and I didn't make
John's
my pick.
struggling with this next pick.
Yeah, I'm not struggling with my next pick. I'm just making sure
I got nothing to lose here. Thank you, chat. Appreciate your honesty and your support.
John still has a decent lead on last place. Correct.
Thank you, Nick. Looks like John was going to take Arkham and you stole it from him.
Yeah, no.
No, I think you might have done the stealing there, Tim.
I'm getting all the crafts in there. Minecraft, Warcraft, Kraft macaroni and cheese. Give it to me. Give it all to me.
Kraft mac and cheese would have been your best pick so far.
Legitimate. Kraft mac and cheese is legitimate.
The SpongeBob ones,
more-
like all of the shaped ones, like you get more surface area for the cheese.
Yeah.
That's my hot take for
The
day.
more orange the cheese, the better. The mac and
Oh
cheese.
yeah. Tetris.
Okay.
The highest grossing franchise of all time is Mario. That's an easy answer. The second highest grossing franchise of all time, strictly in terms of games, it's not Grand Theft Auto, it's not Pokemon, it's not Call of Duty, it's Tetris. Tetris has sold more units than any other franchise on the planet outside of Mario.
So now you care about sales. Let's go ahead and get into what is going to be my last pick here, unless you have anything else you want to say about Tetris.
Yeah, I got another pick to make, so hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. You do. Sorry, I was just so anxious to get to a good pick that I didn't think that was possible here.
That's a good pick. Lot of bad entries in that franchise, but also a lot of classics.
A lot of classics, multi-movie
Yeah.
franchise.
I mean, you can thank the chat because they just gave you that. But good job, chat. You guys really helped and went in there and gave John all-time classic franchise. I've got to really,
Sorry they didn't give me Roblox.
I got to really pull this out now.
I hear the younger generation's really into that.
John, if you wanted it to really sting, you could have said Wordle, but you decided not to
Candy Crush.
come up with anything creative. Okay, what am I going to pick here for my final pick? Oh, man. Franchise games. Guys, a lot of you already has me. You already have me losing, okay? So why
Correct.
not go with something that I genuinely care about here in my final pick, something that I really like to play, that I think is a very strong entry. If you just look at all the buzz that goes around with these games. Are they the highest selling? No, but a lot of those are taken off the board. I'm going to go with God of War. Give me the God of War franchise.
It was
I
on my
love
list.
God
It
of
was
War.
on my list. I was debating on that being my last
It's
pick.
fun. It's got a great history to it. It's been around. It's got a pulse still. I love my pick, and I will defend it to the end.
That's a good pick, Tim. That's a good pick. But I think I got a better one. History that really, really, truly admires the history. So much so that the French government said, hey, we need your 3D renderings of a building that just burned down because they are more accurate than anything we have in our national archives. I'm, of course, talking about Assassin's Creed. Been going on since 07, I believe, or 09.
I just
And
wish the
still
games,
going strong.
I just wish the games were fun to play. They're just not fun to play. It's my only problem with the Assassin's Creed franchise. I love the idea of them. I just don't have fun playing them.
I mean, the more recent ones, not as good as some of the older ones, but you'd be out of your mind to call Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood or Revelations a bad game.
All right, it is now
Or
time.
Black Flag.
It is now time for all of us to present our options for why our list is the very best and deserves your vote. They are numbered 1, 2, and 3. Please put them in ranking of best to worst, as we are now starting off with Tyler as to why your list is the absolute best.
So here's why my list is the best. Y'all already know it is. You got the Nintendo flagship franchise, an absolute global icon. And then I followed it up with yet another global phenomena in Pokemon, you're going to seriously tell me that you can't recognize Pikachu. I'm willing to bet that people who have never played a video game before, never seen any sort of Japanese cartoon or looked at the trading cards, could tell you what a Pikachu is, but would not be able to tell you maybe who Link is, who Sephiroth from Final Fantasy is, who Minecraft Steve is. But they'll recognize Pikachu instantly. Number 3 followed it up with the Xbox flagship franchise in Halo. It's already gotten a TV adaptation. That opening music, absolutely iconic. No one can dispute that choice. Elder Scrolls for my 4th choice. Now, to be completely honest, I think for this choice, you can take part 1, 2, and 3 out of consideration because I really just need Oblivion and Skyrim, really just Skyrim, to make this choice count. Skyrim has been played for over 13 years at this point since its release, had multiple re-releases. People who are a fan of the game buy it multiple times. I know because I sure did, and I've had a blast with it every single playthrough. And then I go with Batman Arkham. Now, it's more recent entries into this universe with Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights. Not well received. But you've got Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. The first 2 of those were re-released with Game of the Year editions. That's PlayStation 3's version of the Greatest Hits cover, so you know it's a banger and it did well. But Arkham Knight was the perfect ending to this franchise and is a beautiful story. Then finally, we wrapped it up with Assassin's Creed, another franchise that's been going since the early days of the PlayStation 3 era. This takes everything about PlayStation 3 gameplay and puts it into one. You get your open world, you get graphics, you get these good renderings, 3D models, to where you just you're fully immersed. You are in the Animus going through ancient Rome, and I think that's amazing. Also amazing that fans can go to Italy and get around just based off of their knowledge of the Assassin's Creed map. I think that is absolutely remarkable.
All right, there we have it, Tyler's list. Hey, I would like for my dentist to be able to take a Pikachu over at their dental practice at Alabama Dental Associates. They provide specialized care in both general and cosmetic dentistry, well-trained in the latest techniques and use state-of-the-art equipment, and never forget their number one priority, which is friendly, personalized care for their patients. You hear me talking about Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian? Well, we now have a Dr. Nolan that's on the team, the Pensacola, Florida native. Graduated in the top 10% of his class. Super nice guy and adds a lot to the community. At Alabama Dental Associates, they work closely together as a team, utilizing specialized training necessary to prevent, diagnose, and treat whatever your dental condition may be. They stay current on all the advancements and research treatment so you know you're receiving the most advanced dental care possible. For more information or to make an appointment, call them at 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. All right. Time to get into what I think is a very strong list here for best video game franchises ever. Now, Tyler's got a extremely strong out of the gate list here in that first column for sure. But hear me out. Grand Theft Auto is a top tier banger of a choice, right? And what did I follow up that with? Something that has maybe a little bit more of a youthful look at it. Something that your nephews and nieces are obsessed with. A world in which they want to live in. And I picked a couple of those. Fortnite and Minecraft, I feel like both fall into that category. I care about the children. I'm a soccer coach now, and I care about the kids of America. And John, you used to, at one point in your life, be a youthful, optimistic young person in this world, and now you're just a cranky old man who doesn't understand.
Who actually plays Fortnite.
Building things in Fortnite is like building relationships in the real world now.
No, it's not.
And you're going to love Fortnite. You should play it sometime. EAFC, which I like to call FIFA still, consider me an old man in this discussion. EAFC brings in the international community. I think that's an important thing in creating alliances with a list like this.
That major Meltdown international audience.
Yes, and I unfortunately, care about people in the world, the whole, we are the world and we are the people, and EAFC placed that. It's the only sports pick on the entire list, and I think it's a very strong one. Warcraft, John, you love Warcraft more than anybody. You can't diss that. You can diss my list. You can't diss Warcraft. And I stuck with the war theme, going with God of War. Kratos is a great main character, and one day they're going to make a God of War movie. It's going to make this an even bigger pick, with God of War rounding out my list. And the only thing missing is The Sims. If I could have gotten that, it would have been an absolute home run.
Still last place.
We're going to leave it there with list number 2. And thank you. I just want to say thank you for your consideration. That's the number one thing, first and foremost.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody finish last place every single vote so far. I've counted 7.
Well, I just got to get some of the younger demo in here.
I saw Boomer give Tim second place.
Thank you, Boomer.
Boomer did give. There's one. My list.
Oh no! He gave me second place. I misread that. He gave Tim last place.
That's just mean. That's mean the way that happened.
Yeah, right now Tyler has 4 first place votes. I have 3. Tim is last on all of them. My list. Zelda has the best collection of overall incredible games. Ocarina of Time is considered the greatest of all time by many people. Wind Waker is the single greatest game of all time according to me and many people. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, both are considered among the greatest games of all time. 4 games considered among the greatest games of all time, plus the fact that there's a whole franchise of other incredible games in there. Nothing comes even close. GTA doesn't come close. Mario, with all the stuff it has, doesn't even come close, which also I would like to make an addendum to Mario. Y'all feel free to shoot it down. But I feel like Smash should not count towards Mario.
I wasn't counting Smash, but I was counting.
If anybody is counting Smash, I would say that should not count.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because it counts for all of us. Even Minecraft counts for that. But obviously Zelda.
Technically, I got 2 franchises that would count for Smash.
I know. Well, so do I, because Zelda and Final Fantasy are all over, and Sonic. So I have 3 that are all over it. So I'm saying it doesn't count for anybody. That's like the one game that's banned because it's every game. Call of Duty puts out new games every single year. They are continuing to print money with Call of Duty and continuing to make it one of the highest grossing franchises of all time. And the Modern Warfare games were incredible, and those games will continue to be churned out. And probably 4 of them will be churned out before GTA 6 ever comes out.
I should have picked Roblox. Gosh.
Roblox would have been 10 times worse than Fortnite. Final Fantasy is on...
That oof sound is iconic.
16?
Oof.
Is Final Fantasy on 16 now? 16, 17?
Yeah, 16 came out last year, I believe.
So
I have not played it, though.
Played Final Fantasy 14, the MMO version of it. There's so many variations of Final Fantasy. It's not just turn-based. It's not just watching a movie. There's MMO versions. There's turn-based versions. There's action RPG versions of it. Final Fantasy is a franchise that has spanned so long a time, and Square Enix is one of the biggest, I guess, maybe outside of Pokemon and Nintendo, which Nintendo doesn't really, that's kind of all one thing. One of the biggest developers in Japan and worldwide. Tetris is the second highest grossing franchise of all time, and I will count it as the highest grossing franchise of a single game because Mario has so many different things with Mario Kart, all the various types of Mario and everything. Plus, when you count money, Smash does count as Mario. Tetris, to be a simple game of dropping blocks, to be the highest unit sold of a game is incredible. And Sonic was the flagship for Sega, and there's been 3 movies now, or there's going to be a
third movie comes out in December.
There's going to be a 3rd Sonic movie, so they developed it into a multi-film franchise, and Sonic also a part of Smash as well. So Sonic is definitely a go-to for a lot of people growing up playing on the old Sega Genesis and Game Gear. I used to love playing Sonic on my Game Gear back in the day.
Does that mean we shared the franchise of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games?
Yes.
You guys can have it.
Those are classics.
I'm sure kids are loving that these days. All right, that's going to do it here for our Meltdown draft. You get a chance to vote. Put them in order.
Sure, kids
from
are loving
favorite
God of War
to least favorite.
Yeah.
I tried to spice mine up and give some actual, mature content there towards the end that people would enjoy. I bookmarked them there with GTA and with God of War, and bookended them, I should say.
That's like people saying The Sims would have made it worse.
Well, The Sims is a fun game. Anyway, this isn't about my list. It isn't about your list. It isn't about your list. It's about the collective draft, and we want you to throw in your order. As it looks like right now, Tyler's running away from it. somewhat competitive between me and John, it seems, but we all.
I would say it's somewhat competitive between me and John. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like a battle for. I mean, it's much more closer.
Tim,
Second and third is much.
I'm not trying to sound mean, but are you having trouble counting right now?
No, I'm not having any problem counting. I'm just saying that
there's
emotionally, I
never
can feel that everyone is very.
There
much
has
attached.
never been a list hated more than your list right now.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's technically true.
It is true. I have a scoreboard right here.
I am the first multi-time winner of the Meltdown draft, and sometimes, you know, you end up pulling a Cleveland Browns sort of situation here, and that maybe is what's happened, where I'm still looking for a quarterback in this draft. But I'm very much proud to have been a part of this. And I don't know, maybe even EG finished ahead of me today. I don't know.
That's what Nick says.
Oh,
he
really?
says it's Tyler, then John,
Okay.
then EG in third, and then you're in fourth.
Got it.
Andrew said Tim's list is running away. No, hold on. He's running away from Tim's list. Sorry.
Jeff, it says I'm really in number 2 spot there. So that's
He says it's a real number 2, as in his earlier comment saying the list is so bad you need a bidet.
okay. Guys, I'm glad that you guys like the fact that you're able to trounce me in one type of competition potentially ever. So that's I'm rooting for you guys to find peace and love in your hearts, my fellow competitors. But it looks like Tyler right now is leading the vote. However, things could change. Once the international audience finds our lists in the comments section, it could blow up. So if you're not watching this live,
Should have put in League of Legends then.
International.
You get a
American. Still mostly American. All those games are made in America, except EA, I'm sure, has some farming out to other places, but just saying.
I know how you felt.
Zelda's Japanese. Final Fantasy's Japanese.
I know how you felt now when you
Pokemon's
lost
Japanese.
to Reed and Taylor in trivia. I get it now, John.
At least I got a question right then.
I get the sense.
I hadn't gotten that point.
GTA is a very strong choice. I am going to let the draft speak for itself, and we are going to say that we appreciate all of your votes that are coming in, not only in the live chat, but also in the comment section. If you're not watching this live, feel free to make your opinion known. What is funny?
Your
What
list
are you
is
guys
the
laughing
crow
about?
of video game lists.
Oh my gosh, that is the most painful thing I think I've heard. Even though I like the 94 version, so I appreciate that, Jeff, I guess, if you're talking about the 94 version. Okay, John, there is one place, if you don't want to bet on me right now with my draft, you can definitely place some bets and some wagers that could really build you up this fall over at our title sponsor. That's MyBookie.
You can go to mybookie.ag, promo code next round, double your first deposit when you go sign up over there. And hey, Landmine, he picked GTA and finished last. It's basically the Falcons blowing a 28-3 lead. Hey, if you want to go bet on a game coming up this weekend that hopefully they won't blow that lead after it's in your favor, you can go to mybookie.ag, play in the sportsbook, play in the casino, play in the live casino.
Look, the Falcons were in the championship game. They should be proud of themselves in that season that they had.
They won as many Super Bowls as I have.
And all that anybody talks about is how they made it to that championship game.
Look,
and that's all they should be happy with.
I'm glad to have at one point in this had the lead. So thank you so much. And Tyler, I'm looking forward to welcoming you into the Two Timers Club as I was able to secure school lunch menu items and the superhero casting draft. So thank you so much for all previous votes. We'll see how things fare in the future, but I will come back stronger, I promise, in future drafts. But every now and then we go with a topic that is in the wheelhouse of international professional gamers that have toured the globe in Chengdu, China, and had the apple juice and the duck. And, you know, if that had been my lifestyle and I finished second, I don't know how I'd feel about that either, John. But
None of the games that were played there were on the list today.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's throw that out there.
What were you playing when you traveled?
I was playing a game called Redstone, but Counter-Strike not on the list, League of Legends not on the list, StarCraft not on the list.
What is Redstone? Is that like a MOBA
It's
type
a
deal?
Japanese MMO from back in the day that doesn't exist anymore. Trackmania is not on the list. What else was there? Guitar Hero not on the list. That was there.
Oh, 09. That would have been peak Guitar Hero.
Yep. So
Okay. Thank you so much for all the commentary. I appreciate everyone's loving support and your appreciation for this little segment that we put together each and every week. We will be back again tomorrow. We've got Triple Threat Trivia, a title match happening. Boomer, I know you're here. You'll be in the house tomorrow with us. Looking forward to that. We will welcome in Jeff. We will welcome in reigning and defending an undisputed championship holder, Vernon Moman. He'll be here to put his title up on the line. Should be a whole lot of fun, so do not miss it. Tomorrow, the return of Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia. Friday, we have our movie midterms of the Meltdown. That's happening on Friday, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a horrible draft again right here on the Meltdown.